All right, Sexy Pants, I think we're live. If you don't know, Sexy Pants is Mary, the amazing orange, no longer feral cat, spoiled rotten. And I've been calling her Sexy Pants so long, she does respond to Sexy Pants. Here we go. Looks like Kevin Keller's in the house, and Mrs. Comic is in the house. And I'm in the house. How do you do, everyone? Or if it's just us and Kevin Keller, maybe we should have had you over to the house. I don't know. It's Tuesday. Trying to make Tuesdays suck less. I just streamed Friday, so it's a stupid idea to stream this soon to when I just streamed because I got nothing to say. But it's cold and dark and wet and miserable, and I figured even if I just sit here and I suck that shit balls, it can't be any more miserable of a day than it is out there now. So trying to get back into the Tuesday rhythm. Holidays fucked me up a little bit. This will be fun. I don't know for what. Usually when you ding a bell, an angel gets its wings, or of for rich people they come and serve you drinks, or Jeevesy comes. I'm not sure what to do. But I like the bell. Um, Again, no real excitement to report. I'm just trying to get back into the rhythm here. So I will start with a couple of fun personal things. Mrs. Comic and I like music, of course, old school Bowie and Zappa and Captain Beefheart and Eno and Super Sister and on and on and on and on and on. But a friend of our daughters in high school's father also liked really weird music, and there was crossover stuff. So he got me hooked on all these really fucking weird bands. I think they, I think these are all bands that were in other halfway decent, like maybe like King Crimson type bands, but they just went over the cuckoo's nest. One such band is called uh, Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum. Now, I have one of their albums right here, and it's just the cover is kind of scary. What's exciting is the guy who turned me on to this stuff. It's basically every so often they come around, and there's Free Salamander, just the craziest names of bands. Uh, a pile of fucking bacon burning in a pan, smash assholes, whoever these people are. Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum is coming out with a new album in February 2024 and probably at tour. Why is this important? Because for probably at least 15 years now, I have been successfully avoiding going to see weird bands like Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum on the back of a motorcycle with this grown up man who gets very passionate about all this shit. And I do too. I love the music, but he actually knows band members, and it would be like 9 days of stories. And so I'm excited. I'm sure I'm going to have to go. I probably should go just, but if I'm never seen again, I should make sure that my phone finder is working very well. So looking forward to this. It's really an acquired taste. It's, I don't know, put it in Spotify and put in Sleepy Time, Gorilla Museum, and then whatever the other bands are that come up, and track through a couple of them. And sometimes you could be scared. This one in particular, I played it on the wrong speed on vinyl because a lot of bands are recording at 45 speed, which is faster rotations, but I think you get better sound quality. But if they put it in micro mini print and normal is 33, I put on 33 and it's supposed to be 45, you kind of get a second Outer Limits album free until they get to the singing part and you hear someone go. But in the case of Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum, even on the right speed, sometimes that's how they sing. So we're excited about that. That'll be coming out sometime soon. I'm making some notes here. Back to writing, writing stories for my eventual book, but also writing for my show. Shameless show plug coming up here. Um, on the Lehigh Valley-ish tour is the third leg of the We Survived the Holidays tour. This would be Arts Quest over at Steel Stacks over at Arts Quest. It's in the Fowler Blast building. It is such an amazing place over there. It's just, if you haven't been over, it's actually an incredible place to just walk around. And Bethlehem Steel Stacks are still there, and this show is historically has sold out at the last minute. I usually go up against the Eagles in a playoff game, which used to, I think, was a curse. But now that I'm not going up against them Friday night, I'm not sold out yet. So maybe it was better for me to get the Eagles try to fuck me in a bucket of goo to sell tickets. That's Friday night. That's 8 o'clock. It's a $15 ticket, and they have uh, discounts, I think under 25, senior citizen. But what's crazy about this particular show is you don't have to be 21, even though they have a bar there. You can buy alcohol. It's 18 and older. But check this shit out. It's 13 to 17 with a parent or guardian. I'm with you all the way on 16 to 17 parent or guardian coming to my show. If you're 13 or 14, possibly you be considered a bad parent after my show, and then you could blame me. But I'm trying to warn you right here and now. That's a general admission. Tickets online at Arts Quest, or you go on my social media and click on my Linktree / Amish Comic. All my shit's in there. So that's all my shameless whore plugging right there. And the other fun thing, I probably talked about all this shit before, but I wanted this picture before because I've been talked about the cats in this house are spoiled rotten. They have their own HD TV, even though it's a tired old one. We put on cat TV on YouTube, and like the squirrels run around and birds and all kinds of shit. And so Caesar's up there, and so when a squirrel's on the TV and it runs off, Caesar will look for it in the room, right? And so what happens is sometimes he looks at me and he sees this head and he goes, and it scares the fuck out of me. I said, I figured out that it's this hair. I think he suspects that it's a squirrel's tail. The best I can tell. So that was featured at the Emmaus show New Year's Eve. And I don't want to pick on my fans, but I don't know if they're in the chat here. It's kind of a compliment. Someone had been apparently to my day after Christmas show at Cellular Theater and also the New Year's Eve show at the Emmaus Theater. That's less than a week, and they had said that they on my fan page, love Raymond, but I can't go see this Arts Quest show because I saw him twice within the month, and it was kind of sort of the same show. Well, fuck yeah, it's the same show. If I do day after Christmas and New Year's Eve, I'm gonna write a whole fucking new show in a week. Of course, it's the same fucking show. I mean, and it actually wasn't the exact same show because I'm incapable. So I love that fan, but they also make me fucking Looney Tunes. And the Arts Quest show will be a collection of things I performed at Sellersville Theater and at the Emmaus Theater. So if you've been to both those shows or one of those shows and you come to Arts Quest and you're expecting a whole new fucking show, you might see remnants of a new show, or I might go fucking nuts. Who knows? You might see an entire new show. There's basically, if I could remember shit, my Sellersville Theater show clocked in around 2 hours, and the New Year's Eve Emmaus Theater show was about 90-ish minutes. So I could go another hour easily if I can just remember the shit. And there's a lot of fucking shit that I made fucking notes. I've actually made notes because it's Sellersville Theater. It was a wonderful show, but I always get pissed off at myself because there's things that I wanted to perform, especially if they're newer things. So the more I perform them, the more polished they get. Plus, when I'm on stage, I kind of just tell the story. It's not really that well written out, which allows me to push the story into fun ways. And then when I hear the audience laughing or not laughing, I know that's a funny way to go. So I made notes about 4 different pieces of material I forgot to do at Sellersville, but I absolutely did at the Emmaus Theater New Year's Eve. And I know that person, it was a compliment, so I'm not really that pissed off. I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck they saw. Um, it had to be those 2 shows because you couldn't have seen me twice within a month recently because those other shows were like not open to the public. So there you go. Let's ring the bell. For me, stop tooting my own horn here. My bra strap is falling down. Let me get me some water here. Shout out to everybody in the house here tonight. If Clee's sister is in the house anywhere tonight, thank you once again. She tips the show all the time. Fantastic. Really appreciate it. I think it mostly goes to the cats, but that's like crunk and bourbon money that I don't have to give to the cats. So many fine thanks right there. Uh, Richter, I don't know if Richter's in the house or not, but Richter is always here, even if he's not here. I just wanted to pass that along. If he's here, then he's here and you can see him here. But if he's not here, then he's still here, even though you can't see him here now. If he's here now and he can't see him here now, when he hears this now, he's gonna lose his fucking mind because he watches the show while he's driving, which is very dangerous. Talk about distracted driving. So Richter, focus on the fucking road for crying out loud. Said me, who sometimes rides around and plays Pokemon Go on my phone, which I don't suggest you do that either. Let's see, we got Ethan Kramer's in the house. I have shout out to Ethan Kramer. This is an amazing guy. He shows up at my shows and he candidly takes the most fucking incredible pictures of me right there. Let's see, where is it? That is courtesy of Ethan Kramer. The pictures I had up last week on Friday with Cat and the screen there. It's kind of really amazing too because, like, filming, I hardly film anything anymore because it's a distraction. It's a distraction to have a camera on the stage, and it's a distraction for me. Much as I try to pretend like I don't see it, when I film off my phone, I totally fucking see that my phone is there, and then again, knock yourself out. Uh, if you got, it looks like you're gonna be there on Friday night. I should alert the people there that it's okay. That's kind of a cool dick move. Like no filming or photography except for my unshunned right there, Ethan Kramer. So that's badass shit right there. And I mean, you don't have to film all these things, but you actually kind of sort of do now because I bragged about it. And then if you don't do it next week when we do this again, everyone's gonna go, "Where's all the cool shit from Ethan Kramer?" And I'm like, motherfucker, he didn't do it this time. But I'm still in defense of him. I got a video that I haven't even looked at yet because I don't know how. We're always fucking busy. We're always fucking busy. Just the snow. I was shoveled more snow than I wanted to, but less than I thought I'd have to. But it still that takes a lot of fucking time. I just between cats and everything else, I don't know where all the fucking time goes. Plus, this is good fun stuff. Mrs. Comic got for Christmas, because I'm badass, a new Kindle. And so now book club is alive again. We're reading again. That also takes a lot of time. But I'm supposed to write my comedy and write books. You're supposed to read a lot to be a good writer. So I got the reading part down, just cutting into the writing a teeny tiny little bit. But well, I'm trying to figure out different stuff to write about because I'm definitely going to. Oh, I know what the person was who said this was the same show. Said I just keep ranting about my attack cat. First of all, I don't call Caesar an attack cat, although that would have been a good name. But yes, I do talk about cats a lot and whatever the hell's going on. But I'm also going to be pushing some different things into my show. I got some really boring, boring backstory on the Amish. And sometimes I start my show because people want to hear more Amish stuff. Um, then I fucking let them have it because it turns out to be like Amish 101. Professor Peckerhead would be a throwback there. Well, I would just come out cold and say the first Amish were founded by Jacob Alman, right? Okay. And the Mennonites were founded by Menno Simons. Now, Jacob Alman was initially a Mennonite, but he believed that the Menno Simons Mennonites weren't strict enough, so he broke away from the Mennonites, formed the Amish, Jacob Alman Amish, and his own interpretation of the religion was so strict that he himself could not live up to it. So he actually threw himself out of the Amish and went crawling back to Menno Simons and the Mennonites, and they said, "Man, you are really fucking as nuts as they come. You can't really just come back here. Just go and start the Amish and possibly be a little less strict on yourself." So I like to say I'm making this shit up, but I'm actually not. Imagine a religion that's so strict that the founding father of it couldn't live up to it, and he kept it going, but threw his own self out. Then had to go crawling back because they didn't want to take him to the Mennonites. Hence the huge. It's not really a battle or a war. It's the Amish and the Mennonites. People get them mixed up all the time. It's Sharks and the Jets. There's no real rivalry. They just clash on a whole bunch of different things. One of the major things that they clash on is the Mennonites believe in adult baptism, and oh no, the Amish believe in adult baptism, that you can't get baptized when you're a kid. That you should be mature enough to make that decision when you're like really grown up and mature, like 17 or 18 years old, because we all know at a teenager, 17, 18 years old, you are really an adult and you're thinking fucking straight. So they fought over that. But there's kind of little different things too. Is that Mennonites take a little more technology than the Amish. They will take as much as they need to survive in the world. The Amish, whatever technology they take, is comes with some sort of thing to make it really fucking annoying. Like the Amish fight about everything, and they break off into smaller groups. One is like the tractor driving Amish. They don't call themselves that, but so they'll fight and they'll say we could have a tractor, but we can't have a rubber tire because that's manufactured. Actually, the whole tractor is manufactured, but I didn't fucking make up this rule. But the manufactured tire would allow the tractor to get traction. And that's why you go through Lancaster and you see tractors with them big fucking metal tires on. They're on so they get shitty traction, because if they got good traction, they would finish their plowing too soon, and they'd get home from work too early, and they'd sit and stare at the blank wall and wish they had cable TV and all that shit. So there's method to their madness, and this is why I don't really talk too much about the Amish in my show anymore, but there is some humor to be had here. The first Amish came here on a ship called the Charming Nancy. It arrived in 1737. This is fascinating shit, isn't it? There will be a quiz afterwards. And the voyage took, I believe it was 80 some days to get across the water. Like, that's 8 weeks. That's like 3 months, whatever the fuck was 4 months. Um, and so basically, even the Amish cruise ship was seemingly pulled by a horse and buggy. So that's really a fucking slow boat there. And I believe those are the Amish that came over are probably the only Amish that ever went on a cruise ship. So that that melts my brain when I think about it, because the Amish kind of don't really go anywhere. They're like they they're there. They're in their community. So to say, well, we're going to leave our community and go on an ocean cruise for 2, 3 fucking months. That's fucked up right there. So nothing's funny about that. And this is why when I do talk about the Amish in my show, I tend to lean towards banging off sheep, and why we don't have a mustache, because we're more aerodynamic in a buggy and shit like that. So let's see here. That definitely is not going to be going in my book. Oh, I know what I forgot to tell you. This goes back to the uh, new album by Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum, just so you know what you're up against. The name of the new album is called Of the Last Human Being. Of the Last Human Being. I don't really know what that means, and possibly you don't want to know either. Now, back to whatever the hell I was talking about. Okay, let's see. Oh, I'm looking forward. I have some Amish books floating around here, but I don't really read books anymore. I read out of a Kindle, and that comes back to haunt me. There's a really entertaining book about the Amish and their business practices, and I do have some comedy that I want to bring into my show that's just basically from that book. The thing is, the book's actually called Amish Enterprises. I wouldn't suggest anybody pay any money for this at all. Um, but there's some actually kind of cool, fascinating shit in there, and it's really specific to different areas of Amish. So if you read anything in there that this Amish group does, that doesn't mean that's the end all rule. It's just that happens to be a thing right there. One of the things is there was a group of Amish in Lancaster that realized they needed a phone to do business with city folks. So, but they wanted to maintain the Amish with the no phones and all that shit. So they actually had some. If you watch Green Acres, and they had the phone on the pole, they actually kind of have it sort of like that. But they were smart enough to not put the phone way up on the pole. So the Amish actually have some. They're at the end of their property, as far away from their house as they possibly can get. It's actually like a little outhouse, but there was a phone in there. And so basically, that would be a phone that you could only call them once a week, like Tuesdays. There would be a sign on their shop. We will take calls on Tuesday, and then somebody goes in. Pappy goes in that outhouse with the phone in it. Well, that sounds like I'm making this shit up. But then you'd have to call them Tuesday. And then there's another. There was a sign on a door for the shop because the Amish don't really. If they have a shop to sell quilts, and a quilt could set you back like $1,000. So there really are Amish hookers if you think about it. But they don't have employees. It's going to be family run, and depending on what's going on in their lives and on the farm, they might not be able to be open on regular business hours. Like if they're going to open, let's say tomorrow at 9, and the horse throws a shoe tonight, that could put a wrench in the works. So there's a sign on one Amish business that said open most days by 9, but some days as early as 7, but never later than 10. Some days we're here past 5, and some days we go home by 3, and some other days we're not here at all. That's a fucking badass sign. Some days we're not here at all. So that's pretty badass. I like that very much. And then, of course, there was a thing in there about an Amish baker that they bake stuff and however it floats into the community. Their bake stand just got fucking pounded for orders. And so this guy got a giant mixing bowl, and to mix it, he made a contraption of it's a Honda lawnmower engine that powers the mixer. I wouldn't fucking trust that at all. But here, the shoe fly pie gets 23 miles to the gallon. That's a stupid joke. I'm not going to put it in my show. So that's some fun stuff in there. I possibly could save you having to buy that book, but there's a lot of. It's so weird the stuff that they fight over, and then how they decide to separate themselves from other Amish. Sometimes they cross their suspenders in a weird angle. Sometimes they wear their hat on a weird angle. You wouldn't even know, but they go fucking nuts for this shit. Um, I also have another book floating around here somewhere that's infinitely more entertaining than that about the Amish. It's called Ex Amish and it's really stories of different Amish that left, but they left because they committed some sort of crime against the Amish or the community that they lived in. The Amish actually have a fugitive, uh, probably many by now. Um, there was a guy. They did when you I don't really know how much thought goes into when you have to put up an outhouse. I assume that you when you need one, you just who's ever the smartest outhouse location person in that family figures out where's the best place for it to go. But there's also borough and town laws and rules, and you have to get permits, and then you have to have the excavator come out and measure all this shit. The Amish don't fuck around with any of that shit. So there was an Amish fugitive who was in violation of the outhouse rules, and rather than move the outhouse, which who the fuck would want to move an outhouse? That's like seems like it's fucking undoable. Um, so rather than pay the fines and shit, he just fucking left. That solved that, I guess, because I don't think you go to the post office and you see the wanted faces. I don't think the Amish fugitive who's in violation of Outhouse Code 47B would be like in the top 300 things that you would find in there. Um, so that's some fun shit right there. I'm flipping through here. More stuff. Uh, Ethan Kramer, just because you're coming to the Arts Quest show and you were most definitely at the New Year's Eve show, I already have some notes here to do some shit that I didn't do at that show or the Sellersville show. Property Brothers needs to have a comeback. I'll be rocking the Property Brothers there. I'm on the fence about doing the New Year's Eve adult diapers because that's like kind of like too close to the dinner hour, but what the hell we'll do it. S&H Grain Stamps, haven't talked about them for a while. Let's see here, but I don't, who the hell knows what I'm going to say. Plus, I also have a whole bunch of medical humor that I haven't done for a while. There's a story about my operation, but it was so long ago. Uh, who the fuck wants to hear about operations? But it's the point is my show couldn't possibly be the same from one night to the next because I don't have the fucking brain power to do that. Um, so now let's talk some random babbling shit here. So Caesar, the lunatic cat, who's really got to be a sweetheart, and what interesting things here is the cat people. I don't know if you know this. When we first met Caesar, really scrawny, sad scrawny. Like when you see these animals out there, this thing, when you can see bone, it's just the saddest thing. So he beefed up now. He's looking stealthy. He's looking like a linebacker. And also, his fur kind of really was like gritty sandpaper, fucking horror show. And I kind of accepted that. I'm like, okay, we didn't pick this cat. It needs saving. We certainly wouldn't pick a muscular, bitey teenage cat who has sandpaper fur. But through good diet, the fur gets really soft, and you just don't notice it right away. Then after so however many weeks, you're like, the cat seems really fucking soft. So if you have a cat with really terrible fur, have a look at its diet. And also, if you have people that have terrible fur or terrible whatever this is, look at the diet because it could be that you just Pappy isn't doing well on them cornflakes. I don't really fucking know. Let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to read here. Kevin Kelly says my daughter-in-law calls it hee haw. That it he.
He's moving to. They have Amish in the community that he's moving to.
Oh man, you can't move, Kevin Kelly. You cannot move. Although you told me you were moving a while ago because you came to one of the cat shows, and then you're moving. So you're moving to
Near Lancaster.
where there's Amish near Lancaster. And that'll be cool to see them like the first week you're there, and then till you're late to go somewhere and the buggy's clip clopping this way. And yep, go Kevin Keller. Here's the thing for you to look for in your new home. It won't be for wintertime, but it's really a fun thing when it gets to be uh, spring and summer. Lancaster is got hills. You ride around where Shady Maple is, and you ride around with these different Strasburg Railroad Station, all that. There's a lot of hills this way and that. They're not phenomenal hills. They're just kind of hills. So when you're going up a hill and then you're going down a hill, you might be able to see some other teeny tiny little hills. What I would like you to do, Kevin Keller, is look for heads that are bonnets or heads that have young Amish hats, just zooming across the top of the skyline there, because what they are is they're on bikes, they're on scooters, they're on rollerblades, but sometimes if you're lucky you can't see the device that they're riding on, and it looks like a fucking Amish day ghost and just like a fucking head going across in a bonnet. It's phenomenal. You might not see one right away because I have you looking for it, but when you actually see one, it might take a few months there, you will laugh and you will thank me for that magical moment in time. And you will report back here. That's what's going to happen here. You will report back here. Um, so, and for me, comedy wise, Lancaster is a dagger. There's no good comedy places in Lancaster for me to perform anyway. There's a music venue down there that does some comedy, but it's try to book yourself. You submit to a place, they either book you or they don't. After so many times of asking, it's like, okay, I'm kind of too old to beg you to book me. So there's no real good comedy down there. So you will have to leave the motherland to actually see my show. But there's some fun stuff down there. There's stuff that I mocked in my show. Tony Wang's Amish Chinese restaurant. I added the Amish part because it's funnier than Tony Wang's Chinese restaurant. There's also, oh, that's gone. Not Shady Maple. Laps Diner, the buffet diner, that's fucking gone. Fuddrucker's gone. All the fun shit. I won't even move there anymore because all the fun shit is gone. Well, actually, your daughter, your family there. Okay, so that's reason enough to go. Um, what the hell else was I going to talk about? How's everybody doing? Any questions out there?
Anybody seen any good shows, TV, movies?
Yeah, anybody watching anything? I'm keep looking at Apple TV for the trailer or the release date on Sinking Spring, the crime drama where they run out of Philly and they had to run through Lancaster. I don't know when that's happening, but it seems like it should be happening in the early part of the year. Um, do we? I don't even know if we're waiting for stuff to come out. There's a couple things that are gonna come out. I know there's Detective. True Detective. Right? Thank you, Mrs. Comic. True Detective. I really loved season 1, and that was Woody Harrelson and I don't know, and Matthew McConaughey, fucking badass. The second season had a good cast but shitty writing, and the third season is coming out. I'm very excited. Jodie Foster is going to be in season 3. I don't know the name. She is fucking just phenomenal and fierce, and she doesn't really take bullshit roles or scripts. So I'm very excited for that to come out, and that should be January, February, sometime soon. So that's very exciting. I have to. I finished a book. I got to start a new book. I have so many things to read. So it's not like I don't have anything to read. I just have trouble picking stuff. That's all. I have too much Kelly stuff to pick from. We finished. A book that we finished.
Oh,
Hidden in the Snow. It was called. That way. Actually, we listened to it. That was actually a fun listen. But here's the problem with Hidden in the Snow. There's this killing thing going on. Wasn't a serial killer, but there was a killing, murder investigation. but it got bogged down with too much drama. So actually, I don't recommend Hidden in the Snow. I'll find you another Killy winter thing to watch or listen to. So that gets no bells from me. My strap keeps falling down here. So that's all my excitement. It seems like this might be the shortest show in the history of shows. Let me leaf through my notes here and see what's what and who's who. Bum, bum. And I could talk about. There's a Richter. You shouldn't tip and drive. That's pretty badass right there. So if you're late, um,
Yay.
then you'll want to go back and watch the beginning of this thing because I had a Richter shout out. That's what I said. I did. I said you can ask anybody in the chat there. I said if Richter's here, then we know he's here. But if he's not here, he's also here. So I knew you were here. I just don't know you were here. So there's that. Let's see here, going through here. Boom. So now when I'm getting ready to leave and I got nothing to say, Richter shows up. Isn't that kicking the Amish balls right there? Now I got to think of some shit. So I'm going to leaf back through my notebook here as I wind down past the holiday block of my show. I'll be pushing the Christmas shit out, and then more fun stuff is be coming in, like Property Brothers got to come in. I could talk about my operations. That's fun for everyone. We all like to, we enjoy other people's pain. There's that. Let's see here. I have to go back and do some research too to get. I gotta get some more Clee stories flying here. I gotta get some Bearman and Keith stories. Um, I feel like I'm gonna burp, and I'm not burping. That's the problem. So I pause, and it gives me a chance to try to think about shit, but also there's a burp flirting with coming out, and it doesn't want to come out. So then I pause thoughtfully to see if the burp will come out, and that doesn't come out, and it's a little awkward. But
Rick just said, tell us more Clee stories as soon as possible.
More Clee stories as soon as possible. That's why I can't just think them up willy nilly. Well, here's a fun Clee story though. So Mrs. Comic was divorced, and she had kids, little kids. And when you are a wild, crazy hippie, and your girlfriend, soon-to-be wife, has ready-made family kids, there's a concern that your friends would accept kids early in your life. I was pretty young to have these kids, and Clee not only embraced these kids, but Richter, you'll get a big kick out of this. Clee crawled the kids into a closet and called it the Mark Club. That was the name, Mark Clee, the Mark Club. And I wasn't allowed in because I did not have a membership in the Mark Club. And to this day, I never got a membership in the Mark Club. And then another friend, Frank, who is sometimes here, they went and pulled this shit off too. He formed a club for the kids called the Grizzles, and I wasn't allowed in the Grizzles. I don't know why my friends thought it would be fun to create exclusive clubs that the kids could be in that I couldn't fucking be in, but they actually really loved it. They'd giggle and they just put it in my face. You're not in the Mark Club. You're not a Grizzle. And then I would pretend that I was. Of course, they, make a dick out of me there. So there's some fun stuff to be had there. Let's see here. Going backwards. Oh, I know some shit. So here's some shit that didn't actually make it into my Christmas block, is because we actually don't shop out in the world for Christmas as much as we did. However, pre-internet, but who does for that matter? But when we did, and internet still existed then, but you go to the mall and you might not know exactly what you wanted. You hit a whole bunch of different stores. Around the holidays, they set up all these fucking weird kiosks that aren't there the whole rest of the year. And there was I call them the whale sperm lotion guy. He just chased us around and tried to put lotion on us, and he actually got a little touchy feely with Mrs. Comic, and that was as close as I ever came to actually being called the cops on. So that motherfucker, the whale sperm lotion guy actually reported him. I never do shit like that, but the whale sperm lotion guy got reported for forced touchy feeling Mrs. Comic's hands. And if anybody's gonna put whale sperm lotion on her hands, it's going to be me. Now, another one was at the South Mall. Mrs. Comic, I don't know if you remember this or not. Some salesmen have no fucking shame at all. This was a portrait guy, and he came up to me and my wife, and he said, "You really want to think about getting a portrait because life is short, and you never know when something bad's gonna happen, and then you'll wish you." So his logic was, we should get a portrait together because I could be dead soon. That was his sales pitch. So we did not get that portrait, and I showed him I fucking lived and lived and lived and lived and lived, and fuck him in a bucket of goo. He can go take some whale sperm lotion and shove it up his ass. How about that? So there's that thing right there. Okay, Malt. I'm flipping through the pages here. Bibbity bobbity boo. He talked about breast enlargement. I don't think I talked about breast enlargement at my shows, which I meant to. That's more of a live stream thing. Okay, a note here. I'm going through here. Oh, this is kind of a weird thing too. Um, I notice things, but there's a lot of things that I don't notice. So if I notice it, something's really going on. So today, Mrs. Comic and I are going to pick up a Starbucks coffee for our daughter and deliver it. This is a cold, miserable day, and I want to check something on her car for her before she went into work later on. And so I'm new at this, but I've ordered uh, with the app, right? So, and our daughter likes colorful, delicious, delightful drinks. That's what she likes. So I always need a little extra help when I'm gonna order it for her because it's weird shit. So I don't know what the hell this one was. Let's see if I can find it. Boom, boom. So I ordered it on the app. When I go pick this thing up, all right, this was an iced brown sugar oat milk shaken espresso. Got one from Mrs. Comic. They were delicious. I tasted absolutely delicious. I would not be able to say that there. So ordering it on the app is fantastic. But what was really weird was that the voice in the drive up window was really loud. It was rock star. It was rock concert loud. It actually hurt my ears. I had to lean away like this, and I don't know why it was so fucking loud. It was really fucking loud. Which the other problem then is there's a there's a menu panel that you get to, and then there's the ordering panel, and May's Burger King has actually two drive up windows, and when that happens there, when it's loud, I think they're talking to me and they're not. So I could like start answering and talking to someone and and they're not even talking to me. Then I gotta undo all that shit. Now the fun thing that turned this into a horror show was that the car that the metal concert volume rock concert lady was talking to apparently had never been to a Starbucks before. So then they didn't know about Grande and Venti and all this and that happy horse shit. So he had to explain the different sizes to this person and yell them back again. And it was already pounding my ear, and I didn't even get to. There's nothing funny about that. It's just a thing that happened to us today. But at the end of all that, we won. We beat the loud talking speaker lady at the Starbucks, and we got to deliver the coffee and Yahoo! So there was that. As you can see, I'm trying not to talk about something because it's mildly sad. The Eagles turned to shit. I know my a lot of my fans love the Eagles, and it's fun when they win. We're having a mediocre year, and then pow, they really started to hit, and it seemed like they were probably playing above themselves. And the last month, they sucked batshit balls, and he took and just did a tailspin. They will be in the playoffs, but they're already fucking me because they're supposed to go up against me at ArchQuest, so I can worry about that and sell more tickets. So they're not playing Friday night, but it's a. I believe this is true. I think many NFL teams need a team therapist because it's in their fucking head. What happens is this because I've been a closet Giants fan for years now. They get they will take a good team and they will just fucking lose because what happens is you will be good, and then you'll let your guard down, and a mediocre team will beat you, and then the players you can see it on their faces going, I don't think we suck. I think it's just that we're really good and we became complacent lollygaggers and we let our guard down and we let a mediocre team beat us. That will never happen again. And then the next week, a shittier team than that beats them, and then they start going, it's possible that we actually do suck. It's possible that we do. I'm not sure if we suck, but it's possible now. Last week, there's no way we sucked. We were just became complacent lollygaggers. This week, I thought we'll win this, or this team's worse. So now it seems like we possibly suck. Well, I hate to say it. So now we have a chance this next week to really not suck and say, we don't suck, we're fucking badass. We became complacent lollygaggers and complacent lollygaggers. Now we gotta fucking get our shit together. And then a shittier team fucking beats them again. And the Eagles just got beat by the fucking Giants. And they haven't won a game since 1973. So I don't know what the fuck happened there. So they're going to be limping into the playoffs. A fun thing for me is how one of the ways I watch sports is I at the end of the day I don't really give a shit. My fan base loves the Eagles for the most part. I stopped trying to put curses on the Eagles because I would like my fans to be happy, even if they don't come to my shows. They'll be happy in the long run. So I'm cheering them on for that to happen. But I mostly cheer for sports. If there's somebody who's an asshole and they like a team, I cheer for that team to lose because that fucking asshole needs to be fucking punished. And I also, people that I love, and there's just teams that they love, then it's fun for them to win. Bear Man, Buffalo, Buffalo Bills, Kerpow. Unbeknownst to me, because I wasn't paying attention until the last 5 minutes of the last Buffalo Bills game of the season against Miami, in Miami. Somehow, sports people know this better than I. If the Buffalo Bills would win, they would win the division, which Miami Dolphins were going to win the division. All you do is beat the Buffalo Bills. But if they lose, they don't win the division, and if Buffalo wins the division, last game of the season, it's kind of like a fucking playoff game if you think about it. But also, if the Buffalo Bills would lose, not only would they not win the division, they would get a wild card spot, but they would drop from the number 1 or 2 seed way down to the number 7. And I think the worst seed teams have to play the best teams and really get the shit beat out of them. So Buffalo Bills won, knocked off Miami. I don't really like Miami. I don't know why. I think rich players go there for like retiring and they don't really try that hard. Brady went down there. He kind of retired and kept playing. I'll just take the 38 million a year and just kind of play fucking half-ass. So I was happy that Buffalo Bills won. That would be a fun team to cheer for. That's another thing. If that's Bearman's team, so if the Eagles lose, um, try to latch on to some other teams to cheer for. That you know, quiet. My alarm went off here. And again, I mean, everybody loves to hate the Cowboys. It's just a thing. I've been a Cowboy hater for years. I don't even know why. Um, just see here. Oh, a message from Stein. Hello, Stein. Stein is awesome. but he said here that he can't get to the chat uh, on his work iPad. So, well, Stein, you probably shouldn't be watching my show on a work iPad anyway, but that's like Richter driving around. I appreciate that right there. So that's how I watch sports anyway. And I usually just watch like the last however few minutes of the game. Uh, no idea who's playing who. For shits and giggles, our daughter that we took the coffee over to, she picks team every year and same team, and for years she always picks the Jacksonville Jaguars because the logic is she wanted the shittiest team so she wouldn't have to care about it, and they lived up to that, and so we're over there, and I think they actually are having a very good year this year. Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm not sure, and so she said the funniest thing because I forgot to ask you this year what your shitty team was, and it's a little late now. And she said, well, it's always the Jaguars. And I said, well, I think you're having a kind of a good year. She said, I won't hold that against them. That's funny when you have a shitty team and they have a good year. And she said, I'm going to stay with them because I know they will suck eventually down to the levels that I want. Which gets me to another fun thing of football is that um, Mrs. Comic over the years has sometimes gone on wild trips with her sisters over the Super Bowl. One year we were really pissed off at her because it was fucking snowing cold up here, and they went to Disney and they ran around SeaWorld and had all this fun shit. I was really happy, but you have to pretend like you're fucking mad. So I don't even know if that was football season, but it was draft. It was draft. Uh, our daughter, for shits and giggles, we decided to watch Draft Day with Kevin Costner. It's the dumbest fucking movie that you have to watch it. It's about the football drafts, of course, and how Kevin Costner foolishly trades away all his picks, and the whole movie is about him getting his picks back. And my daughter and I, we got comically engrossed in this in a fun way. Like, oh my God, do you think Kevin Costner's got to get his picks back? I don't know. It's Kevin Costner. His movies always end up really good for him. So watch. Uh,
it's an old movie.
it's an old movie. It's Draft Day. Watch that. And if you want to watch bad Kevin Costner sports films, I would also suggest Tin Cup, which again, it's golf, and somehow Kevin Costner's going to have to try to make this impossible shot, and he can't do it, and he takes it. He won't. He just won't take a six. He hits it in the fucking water, and he hits it in the fucking water. He hits it in the fucking water. Hits it in the fucking water. But somehow, if he makes this good shot, somebody that he loves gets all this money and can keep the country club. I don't fucking understand the rules there, but spoilers, as shitty of a round of golf as he plays, he hits the ball in the little hole when it's time to save his girlfriend's country club. So that's some fun sports movies right there. Let's see here. I'm leaning in here. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. That's it. I don't have anything that fun and exciting to talk. I should talk about Amish sports. I used to do some bad Amish phone-in stuff to Bearman and Keith or there. The Amish football. Well, I remember when it was just so fucking stupid. It's not even worthy of being in my show anymore. Amish don't play football because every time they see the goalposts, they think it's the start of a barn raising and they finish it. The Amish can't play football because they usually try to plant corn on the 50-yard line. See how fucking dumb that. This is why this shit isn't in my show anymore. The other thing that I've noticed here, while I'm babbling this way and that, is that I don't have any bourbon. And I'm going to be wrapping this show up pretty damn soon because I want to start drinking like all y'all do. Boo. So unprofessional. Looking through my notes. Tuesdays. I hope Tuesdays are working out for you. I pushed to get my ass to stream here tonight just to get back in the rhythm of Tuesday. And I knew this Friday, when I did the Friday stream, I knew that would fuck up my Tuesday stream here. So I did it to myself, one would say, and that's it. I have nothing all that exciting to say. Um, in in Pokemon Go, the raid creature that you can't hardly get is a Buzzwole, and it's a vicious, horrible fucking creature, and we can't get it. Mrs. Comic and I can't get it on our own, even though we have the extra phone. Mary the cat can battle with this, but that's three, and we need 4 or 5 people to battle this Buzzwole. So any of you peckerheads are playing a Pokemon Go or run around Emmaus, you want to join Team Yellow, and you want to send a friend request to Hank's Pappy and Sky Moon Stars and the Mary Moo. That's Team Us, and we will beat the fuck out of a Buzzwole, and then we will get this.
It doesn't even have to be yellow. Any color.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be yellow. You could join the blue team or the red team, right? And so that's fine. It doesn't have to be yellow. So I don't think it's going to happen. But if I don't ask, I mean, there could be somebody out there. Kevin Keller might be just walking around, and Richter going, "Motherfucker, I can't catch a fucking Buzzwole because I can't battle that motherfucker on my own. I need to form an alliance with Hank's Pappy, Sky Moon Stars, and the Mary Moo." So that's some fun stuff for us. Let's see here. That's it. What's that?
You need me to go get you a bourbon?
No, Mrs. Comic said to Richter, you'll love this. Mrs. Comic said, should she go get me a bourbon? No, because I'm wrapping up the show here, and I start drinking, I'll start babbling even worse. I'm already babbling, and that's no good. And the show's already went too long. Let's see here. I'm going through here. I know as soon as I wrap this fucking thing up, I'm gonna think of something that I want to talk about. Back to what I'm talking about Amish stuff. This isn't even really all that funny. Is that I want to get bundling back into the Amish set here. The bundling is the greatest, dumbest Amish parental concept. The teenagers, when they're dating, are allowed to sleep in the same bed, but they're wrapped up in blankets, and there's a 2x4 of wood placed in between them for the night. No teenage couple could possibly roll over that board, and I actually think those teenage couples use a special board because if you go around and you see those wooden box games where there's a ball and you gotta whack the ball through a hole that's in the board, I think they actually use those hole in the board game boards for the bundling bed, and I won't say anything inappropriate about what might go through that game hole, but that's pretty much it. I am definitely going to wrap things up here tonight. Be safe. Oh, shout out to the Bear Man. A lot of Bear Man stories I got to work on. He was a stickler for warning the listeners about wind and shitty weather, especially wind, because he believed that like snow and ice don't need much of an explanation, but wind is the silent killer. He and then Moyer and I would dick with him, and he'd be giving, and then he'd get really fucking mad at us. One time he was giving a wind warning, and Moyer fucked with him with Jaws music, and another time with the Exorcist music, and then Bearman would go, "You're such an ass," but he would warn you. Make sure you got your lawn chairs and anything outside. He warned you to go outside and look at what could fly around and hurt someone or smash into one of your own windows or fucking bust something. So shout out to the Bear Man. Wind advisory. We are supposed to fucking get it tonight and tomorrow, maybe the next day. Wind advisory courtesy of Bear Man. If a mallet flies through a window and knocks you upside the head and you heard this and you didn't fucking listen, that is your own fault. The fault of that mallet striking you in the head, flying through that window, the fault will be clearly yours. I will rest good in my bed tonight knowing that I gave you the Bear Man wind warning. That's it. I love you. Mrs. Comic loves you. Thanks for tuning in. And my bra strap keeps falling down here. I'm going to do this. Let's see here. There's my show plug. And there's my squirrel hair coming up. And that is a